It's the middle of 2024 and your Facebook ads are still not converting. Now, I know there's a lot of pressure on you to make them work, and on top of it, there's a lot of bullshit flying around from fake gurus everywhere talking about how you just need to do this one thing and your Facebook ads are gonna explode. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. In fact, you need to make a lot of things work because the fact is they can go buy anything anywhere else for the same money. You need to make sure that you tick all of the boxes before you can actually ask them for any money. So in this video today, I'm going to be covering the necessities, the basics. So this is not even the advanced things. So in the case that you have any of these problems, I really suggest you dig down and clear every single thing that you see here from the list and make sure that you do not fall onto this category, because if you're running ads and you have any of these problems, what can I say? You'll have to repeat every single test over again. Before we go any further, my name is Ivan Janku and I'm the CEO of Digital Rocket. The reason why I'm talking to you about this today is because we audit hundreds of companies each year, and these are the most common problems we find that cause hundreds if not thousands of dollars in lost money for our customers. And the saddest part is this could have been solved easily by themselves if they just knew about it. So that's one of the reasons why we're recording all of these videos. Hope you like it. Now, today I'm going to cover three different topics. First topic is going to be the website performance and how it needs to work. Second is going to be the tracking. And third is going to be common Facebook issues. You might be thinking, this video is about Facebook ads. Why is he even mentioning my website? I like to use this metaphor. If you go fishing, doesn't matter how good your rod is or how good your bait is. If your net has a big hole in it and you keep storing your fish in it, they're gonna leave, they're gonna get out. So doesn't matter how good your Facebook ads are, if your website is broken and it doesn't work and people don't trust it, you still won't be making any money. Now, the most common issue I see with companies is that they have a website that's barely running. Their website loading speed is barely functioning and they're usually in the red, but they're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a day trying to get people to the website. The problem there is that if you're on a bus with weak internet, with a bad phone, the average user most likely won't be able to load. The problem there is that people don't pick up on it because some people have better internet, others have lower internet. So one way how to figure out if you have this issue in your Facebook ads is to go into your ads manager and check out the landing pages columns. The main thing is you want to see how many landing page clicks you get compared to how many basic clicks you get. So that way you can see how many people clicked on the ad but didn't load the landing page. That way you will see how much you're losing because of your website optimization. Now, of course, there is a normal percentage. It's never going to be 100% transition from click to landing page. But the main point is for you to check if you have this problem. The next thing I often see as a problem is ad sent. Most of the time, advertisers and agencies just don't understand the need for a seamless transition between the Facebook ad to the website to maybe an email chain or something else. You cannot have everything be ripped apart and look differently. You need to understand that the users are always a little bit afraid of them getting scammed or getting phished or something like that. So they're out to understand if there's a potential risk for them, and if everything looks different from every click they make, they are gonna run for the hills. Another really important thing that I see advertisers mess up is where they send people. So if you're advertising a product like a bag, you cannot send them the homepage of the website because they're interested in the bag. They're not even at all interested in the brand most of the time. So if you're in this situation, be mindful. Do not send them to any random page. Send them to the right destination. Every click you save increases the conversion rate for you. Now, for the third one, you probably expect something like payment options or Klarna or something like that, but it's actually way more basic. Most of the time, business owners for some reason forget to add some of the most crucial information to their website. So I often see people giving guarantees, but they only give them through the phone or in the flyer or something like that, or they honor the guarantee when anyone talks about them with it, but they never actually advertise that. So that's one example. Another one would be the shipping options or the return policy. Often enough, I see companies having just completely forgotten about that side. And the main problem is that if you try to run any Google ads, Google is not going to like that and they're going to penalize that for you. Shopify might even decide to ban your store after some time. And overall, it's just a bad experience because the users, again, are always afraid before they make the first purchase. So you need to make sure that they're going to have a good experience. Make sure that you write down the most important benefits, make sure that there's everything that they need to see on the website on the right place at the right time. You don't want to have like a specific small page where you write a lot of the benefits but the person needs to scroll. Overall, my suggestion is just make everything super simple, super visible, and if something's really important, I would make it into a picture or an icon. That way they're gonna remember it, because we're visual beings and we remember pictures and we do not remember text. So let's switch to the tracking. The main reason why we're talking about tracking is because you cannot fly a plane blind. You're gonna end up slamming into a hill or something, I don't know. The main point is you need to understand what your metrics are. If you're still using ROI or something like that, it's just not gonna work because it's not accurate enough anymore. Facebook has a major problem reporting on most of its sales coming through because of the iOS 14.5 update and for the 28-day click removal. So before, Facebook was really claiming a lot more sales than it got, but now it claims a lot less. So often enough you're going to see Google picking up some sales or email or something like that happening, or a lot of sales coming through that you do not even see. Now we're going to talk about solutions down the road even more, but the main point is that you really need to understand if you don't use marketing efficiency ratio, that basically symbolizes all of your marketing efforts combined together with all of the revenue put back into as a ratio. If you do not understand that and use that, you're going to be blind to your overall growth. And I often see companies just focusing on each channel just by ROI and not understanding how each channel works together. So just think about MER. Now, I did mention just now server-side tracking and how a lot of the times there are sales that are simply not tracked. That's because iPhones, MacBooks, and any other Apple product is not sending back any information of what happens after the click to Facebook. Now, basically what you do then is every website has a server where all of the end information goes to. You need to set up a feedback relay that you can quite simply set up. There's a lot of different options how to do so. But the main point is you need to get that information from the server back to Facebook, otherwise it's just going to show zeros. Even when you set this up, often enough it's just going to show the first click and a purchase. It's not going to show add to carts, it's not going to show initial checkouts, nothing in between. But still, at least you get the sale. Now you can set it up through Step.io, that's one of my favorite ones, but if you use a Shopify website, you can also just use this native integration with Shopify and Facebook. The main point being, if you're running ads and you haven't set up server-side tracking, you're missing out on most of your sales. You don't know if you should spend more money on the ads or change the campaign, change the audience. You do not know what's making you money and what's losing your money. So that way you cannot properly invest. So that's one of the main reasons why I consider server-side tracking a prerequisite before even thinking about running ads. But there's a cherry on top here. If you set up UTM tags, you can additionally get more information about what happened. The main point being that tag is going to track the click, or it's going to follow the click around. And when you click on an ad, it already shows you in the URL that it added a snippet, meaning that that click is going to carry with itself the string all the way back to the server. So even if you see a zero, even if Facebook doesn't show you anything in your Shopify, for example, or WordPress website, it's gonna show you the origin of the click. It's not just gonna be Facebook. You can set up to see the specific campaign, the ad, and the ad set. So that way you somehow get tracking. It's not perfect, it's not ideal, but it's way better than having nothing. So if we fixed your website and we fix the tracking, now the next thing is going to be looking at the ads finally. So the first thing I often see, and sometimes even in major corporations, is that they let little Timmy play around. So they didn't want to hire an agency, so they got an assistant to go in and just launch some ads. So the ads are usually made from stock images or stock videos, and they're basic in general and they do not stand out. Yes, they look amazing and they look really professional. But the thing is, the professional looking ads today are the ads that are weak. Nobody wants to look at them because we're just so used to seeing the ads day in, day out looking perfectly. Like you see all of the famous people, all of the models, everybody looking picture perfect every time. But that's not the case anymore. People want to see real. People want to see people more similar to them. So even though the famous people still have their place in advertising, if you really want to sell something, you need to build rapport. So if you're going to just run any type of ad with stock images, that's a weak ad, and I really suggest you invest some time in figuring out what the pain point is. What would make the audience stop what they're doing? Because you need to think about it. They're scrolling around, they're liking the pictures of their friends, and they're just doing anything that makes them happy. And now you're taking them away from that and making them do the thing you want them to do. So you really need to have something that's going to be a pain point or something good enough for them to stop doing what they're doing and listen to you. Number 2 would be not using videos. The main problem right now is that if you just use images, it's really hard for you to explain what your benefits are, what your advantages, etc, etc. Yes, there are situations where images are still really good, and I would always in every account have a couple of image only ads. But the problem is, for the same money you can advertise a video that can say thousands and thousands of words. And so through that, you're just losing out if you're not using videos. Now, the videos need a lot more work and a lot more time and diligence. Often enough, I see people building amazing looking videos, investing hundreds and hundreds of hours and not even adding captions on it, not making a thumbnail, making everything look really crazy and just not appealing to the end user. So think about it. If you have an idea that's right, if you have a good product that you know how to explain, use a video, do not use pictures, because the video is going to show all of your stronger sides better for you. And the last thing is going to be not making remarketing specific ads. Remarketing specific ads are one of the best things you can ever do, because you understand that some people have the basic information that you gave them in the prior ads, but now you need to hit a home run with them. So often enough, you can use testimonials, you can use user-generated content, you can use before and after pictures in some cases, and a lot of other ideas. The main point being is that you show a good outcome to the user watching you. You show that there's no risk, you show that it actually works, or maybe even you can explain how it works, because a lot of people do not move forward until they understand how things work. So if you don't think about all of that, and if you don't incorporate that into your remarketing, you're just going to be hitting them over and over again with the same introduction. You can imagine you're meeting somebody for the first time. Like what you're doing basically with the ads when they see you for the first time. That's the first experience they have. And then the next time they see you, you again do the introduction, and then again and again and again. That's what they often see companies doing. They just hit the same punchlines, they do the same pitch over and over again, acting like people didn't understand what the first line was at all. And that's one of the fastest ways how to alienate people without actually giving them progression of information and treating them like they're idiots. So keep in mind, you need to understand what drives the person and what fears they have in place that are going to make them stop from moving forward. If you don't include all of that into your ads, that's going to be a problem for them to move forward. Now, when we think about everything that we talked about today, we covered if your website's not working properly and if they have a transition from Meta to the website. Then we talked about if you manage to get them from Facebook ads to the website, if there's a problem with the first impression of the website, if the first impression is the wrong page or the wrong category, or you're making them move around and do too much work themselves, so they decide to jump out and not buy. And then even if you solve the prior thing, often enough I see businesses that have a crucial lack of information, meaning that they do not have the most important elements and the most important promises and benefits and features on their website prominently displayed. Now, if you have all of these three done and your checkout properly works, I expect your website to be able to convert. So if we move forward, the next thing is going to be tracking. So we talked about how to efficiently measure and understand if you're making money or not, and which metric to use, MER. We also talked about how to set up server-side tracking. You have more than enough online to figure things out yourself, and it's just a couple of links you need to follow. And then at the end, we add UTM parameters, just so you understand where every single click originated from. And now finally, we're ready to talk about the ads. And yes, we leave the ads for last because the ads need a good foundation. And before you invest into anything, you really want to make sure that the investment is going to go through properly. So in the advertisement side, we talked about just people running weak ads and trying to look professional without being memorable and building rapport. And then we talked about the remarketing ads, where we covered that you really need to have a progression information in order for the person on the other side to make sense of everything. If you just ran ads after ads, the same thing over and over again, that's one of the reasons why it didn't work. And lastly, we want to talk about running the videos, because if you're just using images, especially stock images, it's not going to work. But we also mentioned a couple of really cool things, what you need to do in order for you to make the videos work. I really hope in this video you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. And don't forget, if you have any questions or if you have an idea for a topic I could cover, feel free to drop it in the comments. Thank you very much.